Hi, my name is Jerry Kennedy. This is a quick video about our gym instructor program. So I'm a recent graduate of this program, and ever since then I've continued on with ProFi Fitness. I am at the stage right now of I've just completed my personal trainer degree. So I have done the gym instructor, and I've continued on the ladder, and I've done my personal trainer one. So first off, kind of what we're going to be talking about is just essentially what we're going to be covering in our gym instructor program, and maybe it's just a bit more information for any of you that are looking maybe with an interest and maybe not too sure what it's going to be. um, this is going to be a very simple and nicely broken down video that's going to really illustrate what we're looking to achieve by having you complete the gym instructor course that we offer. So first off, it's your fitness journey starts here. So like when I started, not everyone wants to become a fitness instructor. At the end of the day, we don't need millions and millions of coaches that are going to be working in every single gym that we find. But at the same time, the information that you do get is so beneficial, and it can teach you so much. So the way we word it is that like everyone actually deserves to understand how their body works. So what does that actually mean? What's going to do you any better? What's going to help your health increase? What's going to help you maybe maintain certain aspects of your life that you want to keep? If you want to stay fit, if you want to stay healthy, you're going to learn all this different information, and it's going to be very beneficial for that reason, that you won't have to go find it somewhere else. You'll already know it. You're your own. I'm going to keep reiterating this over and over again for everyone, but you're your own coach. This is and that's the best way to do it, because you know yourself best more than anyone. And when you're your own coach, you can really learn and see what it needs to be done in order to get you to where you want. So I'm just going to take you through the rest of my presentation. So this course is for everyone. It's not just for future gym instructors. So like when I originally did it, I wasn't too sure exactly what route I'd be going down, but I do know that the information was going to be very helpful. And ever since then, now I have gone down that route, and that's definitely what I want to do. Like it's perfect even if you aren't a gym instructor. If you're someone that just wants to, like as I said there, exercise safely, it's very important knowing how to do certain movements, and if you do it a certain different way, it can nearly damage you more than it's actually helping you. So we don't want that to happen. Um, Avoiding injuries as well is a huge part, especially as some of us, including myself, as we get on older, you have to take more and more care of your body. It can be something simple as you could nearly lie the wrong way on a bed, and next thing you're going to be more sore. But if you keep your body in tip top shape, you don't want to be doing any more damage in the gym if you're going in there 3 or 4 times a week, or if you're even just walking up and down stairs or hills. It's just easier, and this way we can really correct movements that you're going to be doing in gyms, outside of gyms, and really focus on avoiding injuries. You understand your body, so everyone's body is different, and we need to really understand what's going to benefit each of us individually. And more so, obviously, there's general ways in order to benefit that. But if you understand your body and you're going to understand what helps it, it's going to make you 100 times better in every aspect of your life. And I always argue that with anyone. We want you to feel confident in a gym. Look, I know, especially from previous experience, that gyms can be a tough place to go into. If you're not too confident, if you walk in and it's a lot of the machines look very intimidating and they look scary. Like you don't want to go over and think, oh, if I press this, how do I use this machine? I don't want to ask this person who's on the machine. So we're trying to eliminate that problem of being nervous in a gym. And once you do the gym instructor course, you're nearly shown every single item that is in the said gym that we do them in. So there is no stone left unturned. You kind of cover every single aspect in there. And ever since then, there wasn't a single machine I've been nervous to go up to if I simply don't understand it. Even now, I walk over and I have a look, because some of those machines can be like a Rubik's Cube. You just have to keep going until you get it. Big thing then is obviously improving your health. So obviously, as I said, as we get older, you need to really look after your health. But even now, every aspect we're going to work on in terms of physical fitness, but there's going to be other parts. There's going to be understanding. I say it in a later module: your own anatomy, your own body, nutrition. Keep it all simple, all that stuff. So the course is for absolutely anyone. It doesn't necessarily mean it's just for a gym instructor. It can be any person, any Joe Soap, as I would say, from the age of 16 to 116 if you wish. It's absolutely for anyone at all. So why learn from the professionals? Look, the internet is a fantastic resource that we have nowadays, and at the same time, it's nearly a hindrance because everyone believes nowadays that they can nearly find their own personal trainer just using your chat GPTs, your Googles. The information out there is endless, and some of it's right, of course. A lot of it might be right, but so much of it is so wrong, and so much of it is to the point of where it can damage you, it can hurt you, it can give you wrong advice and send you down slippery wrong paths that might hinder your ability to perform better again in the future. So it's like there's always so many fitness influencers, and every single person has a different view on everything. That's just the way people have gone nowadays. And to the point of you could put up a regular dinner that you might have, and there's 27 comments, and they're all different values saying, oh, this is bad for you, that's bad for you, you should add this because it's good for you. There's just so much information. um, like social media cannot replace professional education. This is why we don't want you having to go to the internet. We want to teach you the information yourself so that you know it, and you know it's correct, and it's from a professional education service, not from my most recent tab of Google Chrome or ChatGPT saying, "Oh, this is good. Why? It doesn't matter. Sure, I got an answer. Who cares? Why would I research into it? ChatGPT said that." So it's kind of about really focusing on learning it yourself, so you don't have to use these extra tools. And knowledge gives you confidence, like whether or not, once again, that could be back in the gym as well. So if you know how to do stuff, and if you know how to use equipment, you're going to be confident. If you know how certain movements help with certain other mobility issues, it's going to give you confidence talking about it. It's going to give you confidence trying it. Confidence is key with a lot of this. That confidence is power and knowledge is power. So at the same time, so they work hand in hand with these. Learn once and benefit forever. So it's very simply, I'll just read them out and then talk more. So it's imagine knowing all of these different things, like how every exercise works, why technique matters, how to avoid injuries, how to train independently. So at the same time, what we're trying to teach you is all that in a nutshell is screaming to me: learn once and you are your own coach forever. That you don't need all these extra tools and all these extra assistances. You're going to know all of it, and it's going to be learning it. And it says learn once, but look, you're not going to remember everything at once. You learn it and you learn it and you learn it, and you keep going, and inevitably it is all going to stick there. So with every exercise, like there's so many different variants that you can use, and it could be simply the angle of your wrist nearly could change the whole benefit that you can gain from a certain exercise. So it is very important knowing all these different aspects. A very important one, like I'm going to keep reiterating, is how to avoid injuries. It's so important because you meet so many people who have had say, "Oh, I was fantastic," like especially older people. I work a lot with older people. I had a great soccer career, and then my knee, and like that's something we really want to avoid. Like you don't want to have your life changed just because of an injury, and just because they didn't have the knowledge, and to be honest, they didn't really have the chance to really learn this kind of stuff. It wasn't as in depth as we have it now, and there wasn't these kind of professional education services that we're offering either. So you will never need to guess again. Guessing is the killer. So I know we all guess things from time to time, but when you're guessing with your own health, that's really where you should. That's where you're dropping the ball. Like it's dangerous, and like you don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to do something wrong that's going to damage you in the future. You don't want to not know how to avoid an injury, and the next thing you know, you're wondering why you have knee pain, why you have back pain. And at the same time, look, you don't want to be paying for a personal trainer every now and again for the rest of your life. Whereas this is, you'd nearly be your own coach, you'd know a good bit, and you can then move on again. So these are the different like modules that we're actually going to focus on. So just a bit more about them. They're the best part about it is that some of these modules, when you read them, would be quite technical. And given my background, I wasn't very technically gifted with education, but the way it's actually done in ProFi Fitness is it's so simplified that they go through every single bit of it step by step. Because when I first saw it, I saw anatomy, physiology. I was like, no, I'm gone. But then when I did the course, the anatomy, I started learning things and I started remembering things. And that's the big part, is that you do learn. And once you learn it, you remember it. And once you remember it, you'll have it forever. It's learning. And then once again, that goes back to the point of that knowledge is your power. A huge one that we try and talk about as well is nutrition. Like especially nowadays, you can't go on social media without scrolling through a different different trend of someone's diet or some supplement that's going to change their life and all this. But what we do is we break it down for you so that you kind of know that what you're getting from it and the actual benefits of using each said supplement and what your body needs itself based on the nutrition that you should be providing it. So it's a lot more simplified down than it's obviously a lot more simple just getting an answer saying have this, but we explain why and it's still done very simply. Your movement and recovery, so we show you how to do the different exercises, which is very important, and we show you how to look after your body in that recovery element. Communication, you get very used to talking with people, and that links in with professional coaching. That sometimes that's the hard part, in a gym, is that you don't feel confident talking and you don't feel confident questioning things maybe with people. With this, you will have the time of communicating with each other and really getting to terms with how you plan on instructing exercise or even yourself. It's you get you if you it's a lot easier to instruct someone how to do an exercise and then you can see yourself, that's how I should be doing it, because you can correct them and then you can start noticing that I'm doing these things. And the professional coaching element is great because you get a chance to actually coach each other, which is incredible. Like it's the best way I've had of ever learning something, that when I am coaching someone I take so much pride and so much effort in getting it right that you nearly really want to, and then they do it as well and they remember, and then you get so much of a joy just that each of you are doing it so well, and it really makes the whole thing feel like more than a fitness course, that you actually learn all this extra information. So the nutrition part, we just wanted to reiterate, is that it's made simple. Like I said, there's so much different information online. What should you eat, how much protein, are supplements necessary? We do it very simple and we go step by step through all these different aspects, because how much protein should you eat? And you ask most people nowadays, they wouldn't have a clue. They say, oh, I have chicken at dinner and I have cereal in the morning. What does that mean? Like, it's about understanding what is actually in these things and why you need them and what they're going to do for you and how they're going to help you and benefit you in your aspects of life. Nothing is all here to do with gym, and it's not all to do with lifting and instructing. It's about how to make yourself feel better, healthier, keep in tip top shape, and look after yourself. And the other parts are just bonuses. Like the main thing that I found is knowing how to keep myself fit, keep myself healthy and happy, because your health is your wealth, as they say. Can't take money with you, but the health you can keep for a good while. So the practical learning was brilliant for me. Look, I was someone who wasn't particularly very good in school, but when it came to college, which was a bit of a practical element, I was fantastic. I found it was fantastic. And this really transgressed onto the practical learning element. So I obviously found the theory very, very good. And it was done so well that even I was able to understand it, which, let me tell you, is no small feature. But it's the actual, like, you really feel like a community when you're doing it. So you're learning inside a real gym. The groups are always small. There's nothing worse than maybe going in, there's 50 people in a normal lecture or something, and you're like, well, where am I going to get any coaching? Where am I going to get any people looking at me, making sure I'm doing it right? So we focus on those small groups and learning inside a real gym. So you do get individual coaching, and this is also you individually coaching each other, which is really important. Because that's what we're going to be doing, at the end of the day. If you do choose to go down this point, you're going to need to be able to coach people. And there's nothing better than trying to coach other people trying to learn as a start. And next thing you'll find, it gets easier and easier every time you do it. So that is why you get in there, you use real equipment, real experience straight away. There's nothing better than just getting in and not knowing what you're doing, thrown in the deep end, and you got to swim. So you don't get the choice not to swim. But it's brilliant because there were so many people that really took to this, and even if they didn't know how to coach, they learned, and by the end of it, they were all able to coach. Every single one of them that did it with me. So it's about just really learning how to actually do this in a practical sense. The theory is very important, but the practical element is also important. So you do have lifetime access with this course. So your education never ends. Look, most people at the end of the day think that when they leave school or college, that's it, they're done constructive learning, and you don't need to learn anything else more. That is couldn't be more wrong, because not even with regards to this course, you are learning for the entirety of your lifetime. There is never a day that goes by that, in my opinion, I don't learn something new, whether it's something so simple or if it's a full-on course. It doesn't make a difference. Like the other day, maybe I could look up why magnets work. Like, you're going to be learning stuff forever. And what's great about this is that you do have lifetime access. You know, the information is never going to disappear. You Once you have this course done, it's there, and you're going to keep it until you learn it. And nearly next thing, it's all locked up there. That's why I have the key. So you have the key to the lock up there. Um, you can then lead into like future updates with new learning materials and stuff. We're always going to be adding more and more into this course, you know, because as humans, you don't just keep the one bit of information. You don't just stick to the line of the course you're doing. You are always going to be trying to add into it and trying to essentially up your game and make it better and better. And then the more we learn, the more we add. And the more we add, the more you can know. And the more you know, the more healthy you can be. So you can study it whenever you want. The information is it never leaves, and then the knowledge grows within you, and you keep it there forever and ever. So you become part of something bigger. So it's more than a course. When I did it, um, it is like a community. It's You do meet other people then that have the same passion as you. Now, I was a very passionate person, but I didn't exactly know where I was going before I did this course, and it's really shaped me that I kind of have a plan now in place, and that through this community and even meeting different contacts, it's nearly changed my life 100% for the better. It's given me a whole different level of energy and purpose that I can find. And then even through it, as I said here, you do make friendships. A lot of the people I did the course with, you know, you were doing everything you can to help you one another. And it was different to when I was in college. College was very, very much kind of fend for yourself, but this was everyone help everyone. And if you're brilliant at something, great for you. Let me help him. If he's brilliant at something, let him help me. You know, it's about really supporting one another and really just trying to do everything you can for one another. And that's why I loved it. It was really felt like that it wasn't just a normal course, that it was more like nearly like a tight knit family that you were trying to help each other. So it was brilliant. I loved it. So it does obviously lead to career opportunities. Now, look, I know we said if you don't want to be a gym instructor, obviously you don't have to, but the information you are going to gain from this course is going to open up a new window should you take it. You know, the window's open, you have to climb through it. That's your choice. You may discover a new profession, or as I said, you can simply become the healthiest version of yourself. Now, I'm not one to say it, but I don't see a lose here or a loss. Sorry, it's a win-win. So you know, either maybe if you're in an office job for the last 10 years or 5 years or whatever, maybe you're just like, do you know what? One day I wake up and I'm sick of it. Maybe I don't want to. And then if you have something like this, you can completely change the entirety of the scene that you were working in. You know, I used to work part time in an office for a bit, and whereas now I'm out on a gym floor and I'm active with people and I'm loving it, and I can just be myself, bubbly, happy, helping people as much as I can, and it's as like the selfish part of it is that it makes you feel better. Do you know? It makes you feel better about yourself that you are helping these people, and that at the same time they're helping you because you feel like a better person. And it's just that whole element of, once again, going back that in the fitness world it does feel like a very help each other kind of community. And that's why I just love personally working in it. So if you ever did want to change profession, or if you're a student up and coming and you don't really know what you want to do yet, there's nothing wrong with going into a fitness industry and really trying to find yourself and what you're able to offer to other places and what they're able to offer you. You know, it's take everything you can and learn everything you can as best as you can. So yeah, the next part, as I was saying beforehand, was that I recently did the gym instructor course, and then I went along and did my global personal trainer course. So I am at stage 2, as you can see. So not quite there yet. Obviously, a bit more to go and a bit more to learn. But then, once again, as we said, your education never ends. So it's about really upping your game and continuing your journey. Is what we're saying. Is that you get to the point of that you do this course and you think, wow, this is great. I've really enjoyed my time here. But you know what? I want that little bit more. And that's how you get into a next course. And if you do the next course, you might want to keep going. And next thing you know, there's window, door. Everything's opening. Your whole life is changing nearly. And mine has. My whole life has completely changed from even 2 years ago from where I am right now. And that is what is amazing about it, is that you have the choice to continue your journey. If you don't want to, you can stick where you are, and you can keep with that first degree and that gym and fitness instructor and just worry about yourself and maybe teach some classes. But If you go on to the next part, you really learn more and more about it, and the information you gain is like second to none. It's brilliant. It's perfect. So it's just, do you want to continue your journey or do you not? Like I said, you don't have to climb through the window. You don't have to open the door. It's up to yourselves. So my last slide, look, is just, I know it's a bit of words, but I think all of these are important, and I touched on a few of them a while ago, is that the fitness has no age limit. There's so many people nowadays that think, even at a certain age, that they don't feel like they can change, or they don't feel like they can make this big difference. You can change your life at any second of any day. All you have to do is make a decision. It doesn't matter if you were 18 or 100. It doesn't matter if this is your first day in the gym or if you've years of training experience. When I first went and did this course, I had very little information. Someone else did it and they had no information, but they learned the information. They changed themselves. They really took to account of what they were trying to learn was going to help them in so many different aspects of life, and they kept going with it. So the course is designed for everyone, as we said a while ago. At ProFi Fitness School, we do believe that people learn best from one another, which is, like I said, we're nearly a tight knit family, and it's a benefit of learning from one another. And you help me, I help you, and we all help each other. It's brilliant. That is the way it should be, and that is how we are supposed to interact as humans. We believe as well that there's more with these experiences. Like, these experiences naturally inspire and support those who are just beginning. So when I went in and I had maybe slightly more information than another person, I kind of took upon myself to maybe help them a small bit with certain parts, and you could see it really started bringing them out of their shell and giving them more and more confidence, because what they started doing was they started learning stuff, and the next thing I know, they told me something that I didn't know, and that's how it goes back to: one, you help me; two, I help you. We help each other. We help everyone, and everything starts working better together. So, as we said, everything brings someone. Everyone brings something valuable, and everyone has something to learn. Like, there's never going to be a stage in my life that I know absolutely everything about fitness, and there isn't going to be anyone that knows everything about fitness, because there's so much information to learn. But that's why, if everyone has a good idea and understanding of a majority of things, we can help each other the entire time. Everyone has something they can add to every situation that we are going to face, and everyone has something to teach. There is always going to be a case where I'm better than someone at something, they're going to be better than me at something, and that's just life, you know. But it's about maybe understanding that and accepting that it's okay, and that they can teach me and I can teach them. So you're going to join. We want you to join a community where your journey matters, not your age or experience. That doesn't matter. Like I said, I can't stress this enough. It doesn't matter how old you are. It does not matter how much experience you have. It's simply a journey that's going to teach you and let you learn more than what you had before. And if you're old enough, why not? It's just going to make you have a lot more information about helping yourself and keep yourself healthy, and all the ones you love in other aspects of life. So it's a win-win. Lastly, just to say it once again, fitness is not about age, it's about choosing to start. I hope you really enjoy this presentation, and please join the ProFi Fitness School community. Thank you very much.